Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another action-packed episode of Mr. J's Big Book of Movies, where my quest is to find the best movies in the land to put into my Big Book of Movies. What is the Big Book of Movies? The Big Book of Movies is a personal collection of films I feel should be recognized for what they are. What does it take to get into my big book? That's what every Saturday is to find out. Today's episode may not be very fair, but I'm taking it way back to the very first zombie film ever made. We're talking about Night of the Living Dead. Now, before it pops up, don't get mad at the score, but listen to what I have to say about the score so we can have some type of dialogue and conversation about this. So without further ado, let's get things started. The original Night of the Living Dead was released October 4th, 1968, and was directed by George A. Romero. IMDb states that there is a panic throughout the nation as the dead suddenly come back to life. The film follows a group of characters who barricade themselves in an old farmhouse in an attempt to remain safe from these flesh-eating monsters. I have no problem with that synopsis. That's pretty much what happens. So let's carry on. Starting with the top, with the Rewatch Factor, I give Night of the Living Dead a score of a 3. Being one of the first, if not the first zombie movie, this, gave birth to a huge line of spin-offs and whatnot. So, giving credit where credit's due, I don't have a problem with this movie. I didn't really like this movie much, but I had some ups and downs with this movie. As far as the Rewatch Factor, I think this is the type of movie when it comes on TV, you'd watch it or at least have it in the background, because I feel that's what you do with zombie movies. You don't watch it for the plot. They're zombies. People are trying to survive a zombie attack. That's the plot. There's nothing else that's happening, No one needs to be rescued because we're all trying to survive. So as far as rewatchability, I give it a 3. Something that you, when it comes on TV, be like, all right, I'll have it on in the background. With the storyline, I give it a score of a 3. Now here's when conspiracy theory. So the storyline isn't complex at all. Brother and sister go to visit their father's grave. A zombie comes. The brother gets attacked. The woman runs. Goes into a house. There's other people in the house. They fight off zombies all night. The daughter of one of the couples turns into a zombie, kills everybody in the house. And there's one person left towards the next day. Alright, it's a very simple story and easy to follow. Now, here's where the conspiracy comes in. I don't always try to race bait things, but check this out. Hear me out. So, number one, they're in a hickish country type town. I mean, it is established that they're in a farmhouse, an old farmhouse. You're not going to see farmhouses in the city. So it can officially be said they're in the country. Now, the people that are shooting these zombies on point are country-esque. I mean, walking around with a shitload of rifles, shooting things at random, in the 1960s, that's kind of a country type thing. So I don't know exactly if I want to put things in the South or just a country type of environment, and also the type of slang that the officers use. Now, here's where things get interesting. So all the zombies are white, okay? And they don't have senses. So they attack you and they just keep coming. They keep coming. I don't think they could hear. They could obviously see. I don't think they could smell. I don't think they could taste, because if you enjoy the taste of flesh, then that's weird. But their vocal cords are obviously damaged. I don't even think they can formulate words. So the only sense that we know works is their eyesight, because obviously as they come up from behind a lot of them and shoot them, they don't react of the shooting of the guns or the firing of the guns. They react to when the bullet pierces them. Now check this out. The final scene, the main character sticks his head out of a window and then is shot in the head. Now, he is the only African American in this entire movie. So my question is, did he get shot because he was black? And they chalked it up by saying, oh, he's a zombie, we shot him in the head. You know, it's kind of up in the air for interpretation. I did a lot of researching about it, and a lot of people do feel that way, and a lot of people feel that just the militia was a little too trigger happy, but it kind of makes you think. So with that, I give storyline a 3 because of that conspiracy. I don't know. Me personally, it just felt like it was because he was black. I really believe that. And a lot of research shows that, you know, the director didn't want race to be a factor of the movie, but all the zombies were white. I mean, they didn't run across that we know of black zombies. You know, there were men, there were women, there were even children, but they were all white. And everyone in the militia was white. So with the only black person alive in a country town where their job is to kill all the zombies, and they see a random black person stick their head out of the window. So when you do that, you're investigating something. You hear something. And the zombies do not have that sense. They cannot hear things. So with that, with investigating something, using your senses, why would you shoot the person? That's where the conspiracy is. So with that, I give storyline a 3. Something to think about. Characters, I give a 2. This is the beginning of a long line of zombie movies. You don't get Academy Awards for hacking up zombies and blowing up cars. So I don't feel acting is the high point of horror movies. So I give characters a 2. Appearance, I gave a 2. You know, with black and white movies, the highest you could really get is a 3. But this was an independent film, and it was really grainy. It was really difficult to see. It wasn't terrible to see, but there were a lot more clear shots able to be seen. And don't forget, a lot of it was filmed at night. So you weren't supposed to be able to see everything. So with that, with the appearance wise, I give it a 2. I don't think there was a lot to visually see, yet there was a lot to feel, you know, emotionally and experience wise. But, you know, feelings, that's not appearance. Appearance is visuals. So with that, I do give appearance a 2. Last but not least, I give enjoyment a 2 as well. This is 1968 at its finest. I mean, this is the beginning of zombie movies. Everything, you know, improved after that. But I mean, it when it was first released, it really shocked people. You know, a lot of the people were mad the fact that this movie was rated. This was before film ratings, you know, so no rated R, no PG-13, you know, none of that. So, you know, I don't remember if it was Siskel or Ebert wrote that, you know, parents should use strong caution when allowing their children to see this. And he even commented he was in the theater and there was a girl 2 seats next to him in tears because she couldn't comprehend that one human would harm another human being. You know, maybe it was like that in the 60s, but me being an 80s baby, it's like, shit, that's life. That happens every fucking day. But all in all, with that, it's more background candy. It's not something that, you know, you stay up and watch and you do all this stuff. It's like, hey, another Halloween type movie. You watch it for the camp. You watch it for the funny parts. You don't, get engrossed in the 1968 version of Night of the Living Dead. Maybe some of the other ones, but, not this one. Last but not least, it's the time to look at the 5 categories. Because the 5 categories equal a score. And that score equals a grade. And the grades go as followed. As far as the Rewatch Factor, with the score of a 3. The storyline with the score of a 3. The characters with the score of a 2. The appearance with the score of a 2. And the enjoyment with the score of a 2. That equals a 12. And that 12 equals a D. I'm not going to say this is an A movie. This was an independent movie. This was a budget movie. It looks budget. It felt budget. But I appreciate what it did. So with that, does the original Night of the Living Dead get into the big book of movies? The answer is yes, because of what it spawned. Itself as a movie by itself, if there were no other zombie movies ever, then my answer would be no. But because of the influence that this film had on Hollywood and everything it spawned from that, it definitely gets a go-ahead from Mr. J. And bring those zombie movies my way. Well, that is all the time we have here today. Don't forget, new episodes here every Saturday. Mr. J's Big Book of Movies. You could listen to my podcast, Eye for an Eye with Mr. J. Comes out every Tuesday and Thursday. It's available on Apple Podcasts. It's available on Google Play, and it's even available on Stitcher. That's every Tuesday and Thursday. Follow us on our Facebook fan page at I for Mr. J, our Twitter page at I for an Eye, spelled just like our podcast. Contact me, mws_at yahoo.com, and most importantly, leave comments, concerns, questions. I can't improve unless I hear from you. And I love doing those viewer challenges, just like we did with Tu Wong Fu and Moulin Rouge. Keep those requests coming. As far as I'm concerned, this chapter is now closed.